being the last session, of course we have the awards. We will try to make it as quick and concise to keep up the tempo. So I'd like to welcome Dr. Pichumani, my co-chair, and I'd like to welcome all the other participants of this panel. Dr. Senthil, Dr. Ramesh Babu, Dr. Manivannan is already here, Dr. Madesh, and Dr. Arun Kumar, sir. So we have the final session, which is sustainability and scalability in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. We've had a lot of talk till now on challenges being faced by hospitals in smaller towns. So now we're going to how do we sustain a hospital? We've talked about challenges in starting a hospital, the legal headaches, let me put it like that, because of the legal compliance is required. But then any business, the hospital, as was discussed in the first session, the hospital should be run as a business. Even if you have a charity, you still need to make money to keep doing charity. Unless you've got external sources of funding, hospitals need to sustain themselves on an ongoing basis. And then, as a natural part of any organization, comes growth. So how do we scale up organizations? So I'll like my co-chair to also voice of view.
Good evening to all. I would like to thank AHPICON organizing committee and of course a special thanks to Satish Devdas for beautiful hospitality in Adel especially. And this is actually our session, and we have been talking about the challenges faced by the Tier 2 and Tier 3 town hospitals, small healthcare organizations, so many legal issues. It was wonderful. It was a feast for most of the topics were interesting. And as likely part of my chair, it's actually this challenge with sustainability and scalability. So you have started your organization, you are doing reasonably well, and it can be an ownership organization, it can be a company or a private limited, whatever it is, and how that model is going to be taken over, how you are going to establish that. So the sustainability and scalability has got replicability also. So unless you are going to replicate it, so now I got solvers who will be replicating one after another when starting in various places. So I think we are going to hear from experts how they have been sustaining their institutions for a long time, how they have scaled up from small. It's a real motivation to many of the youngsters and also people who have been having small healthcare organizations, how to scale up the whole thing. That's quite interesting. So let's now welcome our speakers.
Thank you. I'd actually like to start with Dr. Senthil with an interesting question, because Dr. Senthil is a third generation doctor entrepreneur. So he's taken over from his father, an institution that was built by his grandfather. And part of sustainability is how do you transition between generations, and what are the challenges faced by you when taking over the hospital?
Yeah, thanks, Suresh. Also, I would like to thank AHP for bringing me here and giving me this opportunity to address in front of you all. And we are in 84th year of healthcare. I am a third generation doctor, and I would like to just say a few words about how our hospital was before. When I entered in 1994, the hospital was like, it's a family hospital. And my father is a surgeon. It's more of a surgical oriented practice. And those days, there won't be any hierarchy there. There will be one person by name calling or some X or Y. He will be addressing everything. You ask for anything, the light is not working, again the calling will be called. The patient is not being shifted, then again the same person will be called. He will be a driver, he will be a jack of all trades. He will be giving injections, assisting surgeries. So these kind of people will be there in the hospital. When I entered, there are 3 or 4 people like this who will be addressing everything. This is the non-clinical side. And if you look at the clinical side, most of them will be unqualified and but very experienced. They can almost conduct deliveries. They can even assist surgeries comfortably as like equal to a surgeon. And in fact, I learned few surgical skills from those staffs. So that was the scenario when I entered the hospital. And as the day progressed, have department heads, people working under them, reporting and all those things. Nothing was working because I used to get all kind of resistance from those people. They'll immediately say that this is not going to work out, pa. Immediately they will say. So I won't be able, even if I employ some new people, there will be discrimination. If I put a qualified radiographer, they won't be able to take a proper radiograph because already the senior most person will be dictating things. Timings, each and everything, it's very, very difficult for us to change the setup, the scenario. And immediately if you do something for them also, you try to say that, you're not working well, next month you can just get relieved and get whatever money compensation is there from your father. The entire family will come and stand in front of us. And the most difficult challenge what we faced was almost most of them were relatives of us. So this is the kind of scenario where it was when we entered. So slowly we started changing one by one, and till date there is still one more person in the hospital setup where he is just being put there, and it's kind of he'll be just one among them. That's all. He will not be given the responsibility, and we have changed all the staffs. And not only in the staff's pattern, the setup, the kind of setup what we have is in a sort of you have a hospital in front of a Paris corner. So much of crowd is there, we won't be able to, even park a car. That was the situation. And from there, we have gone up to the next level of constructing a hospital of about 1 lakh square feet of 150-bedded hospital. And our name of GVN Hospital at Trichy is a well-branded name, and it is being branded as a mini government hospital. Because the most important thing is we don't charge any consultation fees. Till date, it started from my grandfather, father continued, and even I'm an orthopedic surgeon, I don't charge any consultation fees. So this is you're just following the tradition of it. So the kind of patients whom we cater will be always a poor socioeconomic status people. So these kind of people from there, I have to build it up. So to sustain, I just started developing departments first. Did my own study in how many cases, what kind of specialty cases we have been handling. And from there, I just prioritized the type of consultants to bring in. So whatever departments we were doing well, I started bringing in more consultants in that particular department. From there, slowly started growing. And then we changed the setup. We moved to a different place where I already told you it's a 1 lakh square feet setup. And the name GVN Hospital stands for a poor, low socioeconomic status people. It's something similar to, I'm a car passionate, so I just thought of this Toyota. I don't know how many of you know about Toyota car, Lexus brand. Lexus is a brand from Toyota. It is being branded for the next level of people to, address the luxury segment of the car. So similarly, I just renamed the GVN as GVN Riverside. That had a different name and changed everything. Even an entry, a reception is being changed as welcome desk. The staff, earlier they used to call us, they just started calling everyone as staff nurses, sisters, proper identifying the people in a proper name, and started more, speaking in English than in front of people using our local Tamil language, because that all those things, slowly just mattered. And completely, the rebranding was made everywhere, the infrastructure, including the type of rooms, the comfort what we have, the hospitality whatever we have made. And it took nearly 15 years for me to change this. It's a very long-term process. The resistance whatever I got in the initial period was the most difficult challenge which I faced in my career. Orthopedics is something completely different, and administration is completely different. And in fact, this is the first time I am, representing this kind of a forum. Today, actually, I am supposed to be a faculty in North Hospital in Coimbatore, where I said, I won't be able to do that because I wanted to just explore this as well. See what kind of discussions are being happening, and this is a really new forum for me. And still, in the age of 53 now, I'm learning and forming up new things in the hospital administration, job description, and setting up a hierarchy. Now I think around 24 to 25 managers are there, different departments. complete transformation there. And I'm really thankful to be in front of you now and sharing my experience. Thank you.
It's really great to hear Senthil actually. Wonderful rebranding and repositioning yourself, and fantastic. And I think we also two sons coming up with and now I know really understand what they would have, how much difficulties they have, and we have learned a lot. Coming to the very interesting person, Dr. Manivannan, who needs no introduction to this gathering, and of course we are all very proud that a person from southern districts went to city and just started assembling some very great and even shaking the city's big units. So we really congratulate you on that, sir, and we are all very proud about you. And I think who else can talk about this topic of sustainability and scalability better than Dr. Manivannan? Over to Dr. Manivannan.
It's always a pleasure to be with AHPICON and other associations. So one thing is to talk about Kaveri. I'll say that always people say that you work hard, you will definitely succeed. But I don't believe in it. Working hard is 70%, 30% luck is very important actually. So many times the successful people, if you study that, they are in the right place, right time, with the right people. That's what I say. So I say that Kaveri was born in the right place where there is hardly any corporate health setup. And the right time where corporate healthcare was started booming. Apollo Hospital was the only corporate hospital well known in Tamil Nadu. So there was a gap, big gap. And then with the right people, of course, we have 7 promoters from 3 families. It's not one person. So all of us got together and then started. All of us had our own individual strengths and weaknesses. And so I feel that that's one of the reasons why we started Kaveri and we started growing also. That's also very important actually. The first thing is we are all, as I said, we have 7 people actually. Most of the hospitals we see is a single promoter hospital where there is only one promoter, and so naturally they are not able to scale up beyond their geography. Of course, within the geography they can grow very well. They grow very well. In fact, I used to admire KMCH in Coimbatore, where one single geography there were a huge number of beds, and Coimbatore is very famous for the Ganga Hospital, PSG, KG Hospital. Everyone, and I used to work there a long time back. So in one single geography they were able to grow. But when I meet them after a long time, they used to ask, Manivannan, you used to work with us, you never looked like a businessman. Suddenly, how do you seem to be growing? And what should we do to grow? I said that, doctor, you need to stop practicing to grow if you want to grow like this. That's very important. We have 5 doctors in our promoters group, out of which 2 of us, myself, my chairman, Dr. Kumar, both of us stopped practicing 15 years back. So the day when I went to Chennai to establish a hospital, I stopped my anesthesia practice. Good for the society, good for the company also. So you need to stop practice if you want to expand geography. If you're in the same place, of course I've seen a lot of clinicians, and my dear friend Dr. Senthil, a very passionate practitioner and passionate administrator now, because he's sitting in one hospital. He also has 2 hospitals within the city. He's finding it a little bit difficulty, but in single geography it is possible actually. So that's one of the reasons why we were able to grow. So it's a big family, so naturally we have to grow. It's a necessity, not this thing. So it's a necessity. The another thing is when this demonetization came, we are the only hospital where doctors were happy, because there is no cash to hide actually. Since 2003, all our billing and revenues have been payments, everything has been checked. So there is no cash transaction at Kaveri since 2003, which we started from our promoters, then slowly established across the hospital. So this is a a daily basis we track. This is possible because all the transactions have been accounted for a very, very long time. We're able to do a lot of data analysis. We know what kind of patients are coming from, where they're coming, where we are getting revenue, all those things. That's also one of the big reasons for scaling up. And another thing I said that we have got a good, very digitally connected hospital so that we ensure that most of the critical processes are digitally enabled so that we are able to track the key results area, KRAs and KPIs we are able to track remotely so that manual intervention is not needed. And probably these are the reasons why we are able to scale up, otherwise there is no other secret in kindness.
Fantastic, sir. It's very nice. And really, interestingly, there's something else that I want to ask you. What made you to just start a medical and all those things apart from this, sir?
So, one thing is, so when we are first generation entrepreneurs, it's very painful. Dr. Senthil has got his own pains and we have got our own pains actually. As a third generation, he has got different problems. As a first generation, we have our own problem. So I still remember when we started the hospital, I keep telling that I saw my first computer when we started our hospital. Okay. We got computers, it was there and this thing, some screensaver was doing, I don't know, we don't know what to do with the computer in the hospital. I've seen a computer in the railway station booking counter, that's all. After 10 months only I came to know that there is something called the hospital management system. Okay. Then imagine how our knowledge is about equipment and other things. Every time we buy an equipment, we feel that we are best bargain and after 1 year we realize that we have been cheated. Okay. So this frustration over a period of time, then I saw an exhibition happening in Bangalore, I went there and then I realized why not we organize one for the benefit. By the time we are 200 bed, we have a reasonable experience in medical equipment. So I thought, why not we share our experience? That's how medical was started as just passionate project. But over a period of time, it has become a big project.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Mani. I still remember when Mani called me once and said, you know what, there is no exhibition for hospitals in the South. We should, I think of starting on. I said, okay, start, and it sounded like it was still something small. But on the very first conference, I saw it was a huge thing and it's only taken a life on its own. But let's not digress. I'd like to call upon Dr. Madeswaran, who's joined us from Coimbatore, and who almost single-handedly has created a new brand, Royal Care Hospital, and made it a landmark in Coimbatore. Like Dr. Manivannan said, there are large established hospitals in Coimbatore. Everyone thought Coimbatore was a saturated market and a smaller hospital, but he single-handedly created a new brand on par and a still growing brand. So I'd like to ask him to share his struggles in establishing a hospital in Coimbatore and achieving operational sustainability.
Thank you. I was not alone. I had my friends with me. I was trying to create a facility for our own practice, just to fulfill certain unfulfilled aspirations in patient.
Thank you, Ramesh. I think usually when someone comes to me saying that I like to build a hospital, I advise against what I call the big bang method. I say start small, scale up, have space to expand, and I say please don't go with the big bang. I've seen many hospitals fail, but in this case, I applaud Dr. Madesh for going against conventional wisdom. And like I said, it was a necessity of the city that he was in, but not only did he go with the big bang approach, and he's made it a success. Thank you.
Yes, actually, what the chairperson told is very right. We grow small and we just start small and grow in a big way. And I hear from Madesh telling that he's got a lot of star performers to start with. That's a great thing. So it's a lesson for the newcomers that we have to form a guild, at least union of doctors. And we should have a good practice and probably 5 or 6 practitioners together starting our unit with a good practice. Actually, you can do well and can start thinking in a big way. So coming to the next person, Dr. Ramesh Babu, doesn't need any introduction in this area, who has been in this place for quite some time, and he has seen many organizations, great administrator and great orator. Welcome, Dr. Ramesh Babu, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, I'm Dr. Ramesh Babu. I just wanted to say I'm the CEO of Scalability Medical Center, which is just 1 year old, 300 bed hospitals, doing 80% occupancy within 1 year, 5 accreditations, and that's all because of the great teamwork we have. See, one thing is you should understand one thing. There are many animals which are extinct today, but only one animal which is living here for thousands of years. What is that? Pardon? Cockroach. Why? Because it adopts to change. So when you don't adopt to change, you perish. When you adopt to change, you will live long. That's the theory. When whatever business you have, you should adopt to change. Senthil was telling that he adopted the new change because that generation was different, this generation is different. People expect a lot of things from hospitals. They expect a lot of things from doctors. They expect facilities. Actually, that's why we are talking about corporate hospitals, which is never talked about 20, 30 years back. So we have to adopt to change, first thing. And number 2 is you have to have a great teamwork. And then you should know whom to allot what. Please don't hire your relatives. Okay, that is the one important thing I want to give a message. Just because he is your mama or machan, don't do that. Because they will spoil the hospital. They will not work. They will not allow others to work. This is where we are making a big mistake. There are professionals now. Dr. Manivannan was clearly telling that there are professionals now. Employ professionals. If they don't perform, send them out. But never hire your relatives. Because they will spoil your show. You think they are loyal. They might be loyal, but they will not be able to work. These 2 things I wanted to make it very clear. And then, when you want a hospital or organization, as I said, this was said long back by Thiruvalur, none other than Thiruvalur. He said, "Idanai ivanal ivan mudikkum endrayi adanai avan kanvadu." That's all. That's management. A simple theory. Management is nothing. A leader doesn't do everything himself. He allots work. You do this, you do this. That's why it's called Idanai ivanal ivan mudikkum endrayi adanai avan kanvadu. That's all. Forget it. Relax, and then all the work gets done properly. If you do that, that's a great man. That is what we are doing in our hospital. We have appointed professionals. We know that who to do what, and we have given them the task. You do it. Give us the results, and finally we got the results within 1 year. Today, though it is a new just last February 1st only we inaugurated the hospital with 300 beds. Now we are 100 beds operational, 80 beds full, and within 1 more year we will break even. That is how we should go about that. So everything is related to leadership. Whether the country Girdhar Gyani sir. Great leader. Without him, we would have got a quality. We have never thought about quality. Because doctors were telling what I am doing is my quality, that's all. But this man changed the entire concepts of quality in our country, healthcare quality. I'm talking about healthcare quality in our country. So this is leadership. The leadership has to be there. In every organization, there has to be a great leadership. And if you have a great leadership and you have an entire excellent team, definitely your results will be excellent. And finally, sustainability. That's what we are talking about, sustainability. I wanted to say one thing. You all know about top line and bottom line. People in business will talk about a top line and a bottom line. Top line is nothing but your revenue. Bottom line is nothing but your profit, net profit. Okay? So we are all bothered about net profit. But today, you cannot concentrate only on your bottom line. Because people are talking about triple bottom line. John Elkington was a great author and a business entrepreneur. He coined the word triple bottom line. He said, if you make profit, there is no use. Okay, it's of maybe you may have some money, but it's of no use to the society, no use to the country, no use to the world. So he coined the term triple bottom line. So present day, you should have a triple bottom line. What is the triple bottom line? It's called 3 P's. First one is people. Number 2 is planet. And number 3 is profit. So that is the latest terminology they have converted into ESG. Environment, social and governance. ESG is the latest concept in sustainability. Whatever word you talk in sustainability, you cannot skip the word ESG. Environmental, social and governance. So the same thing is called 3 P's in a different terminology. So first thing, concentrate on your people. What do you mean by people? The people includes your customers, the patients. Second thing is your employees. Third thing is the suppliers. Fourth thing is your stakeholders. So first concentrate on your patients, your customers. Treat them well. Because the expectations are very high today. You treat them according to each patient needs a different thing. So you treat them well, you will succeed. You treat your employees well because they are the internal customers. Take care of your internal customers. They will take care of your external customers. So do that. Third one is the suppliers. Pay them properly. Keep them good because they will spread the message across the globe. And finally, your stakeholders, the government and other agencies. Do that. So that's about people. If you take care of them, your 1/3 world is over. Second thing is your planet. What do you do for the planet? Because today everybody is bothered about, we are all become selfish. We are bothered about ourselves, we are bothered about our organization, we are not bothered about anything. That is why the term planet has been coined. Planet means you should take care of your resources. See, these resources, what you are having today will not be there tomorrow. Tomorrow our next generation will suffer because there is lack of water, lack of proper air, lack of everything. So what do? So you should save for the planet. You should save for your children, your own children, your grandchildren, your successors. That is what you have to do. So take care of your planet, like water footprint, carbon footprint, and environmental. We are talking about BMW. How do you biomedical waste? All these things you should take care of. As a management, as a leader, it is your responsibility to take care of. It is not a professional's work. It is your responsibility to take care of all these things. Your alternate energy, solar energy, wind energy, you have to take care of all these things. So this is number 2, planet. Number 3, once you do this people and planet, automatically your profit will increase. Okay, so when
you, Ramesh sir. Actually, as I told, you are a big orator. So we learned a lot of lessons from you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Next, we'd like to hear from Dr. M.J. Arun Kumar and his challenges in opening up a hospital in southern districts and his strategies to sustain.
I think I'm the last speaker, so in the Tier 2 city, what I'm planning to talk is everybody is talking about the multi-specialty hospitals. Ours is a unique super specialty hospital. So we practice neurosurgery, neurological sciences and trauma. Initially I was in CMC world for the first 15 years where I did my UG and PG. Then on the insist of Dr. Pratap Sirigi, the chairman of Apollo Group, I came to Madurai to start the department of neurosurgery for Apollo hospitals in the year 2000. Having gone through almost till 2007, like 7 years, we were functioning together in the multi-specialty area. And I found that something is missing. And I actually wanted to start a hospital. And there are some limitations to the part of the growth and scalability in my area, which is neurosurgery. Therefore, we went through and started neurosurgical center, a neuroscience center in trauma, as a 35-bed hospital in 2008. And then slowly we started doing the work, and over a period of time, we, from a 35-bed, we built a lot of patient confidence, the turnover, and with a lot of new equipments, infrastructure, we grew for the next 11 years. Started with the proprietorship firm, then went on to become a private limited, and by 2022 became a public limited unlisted. From 2008 to 2020, we were in the old campus, and the neurosurgical demand is such that neurosurgery and trauma, it can't be, that even if it's a super specialty hospital, the patient will come there. They also need, for example, the patient with a stroke sometimes has a MI. At that time, we thought we need to have right specialties also to support you. Therefore, we moved to a new campus with add-on facilities of cardiac sciences, cardiac theatre, hybrid cath lab, apart from neurointerventional neurologies and all those things in the
Thank you very much, sir. And indeed, it's a great experience here. And of course, we want to have a few questions from the audience. If anybody is ready to ask his elect panelist, any questions?
Yes, Dr. Purush.
So we hear from the eminent people that how the corporate hospital is set up. We hear from Manivannan Selvaraj the desperate wins in all the areas about the idea of medical and other scheme. So my question to all the panelists is it good to start as a in a tier 2 or tier 3 city should have a corporate hospital or not? Corporate hospital in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
Oh, okay. We need to define what is a corporate hospital. Corporate is actually bad, you know. Say, I keep telling that, say, think like a corporate. It could be a family-run hospital or a single-family-owned hospital, whatever it is. We need to think like a corporate, actually. What is a corporate think, actually? Okay. Corporate generally think is, we are talking about big corporations. And a lot of speakers are talking about return on investment and other things, actually. So, Dr. Madeswaran is very few lucky people who doesn't need to talk about return on investment, but otherwise most of the time actually return on investment is very keen where you put in money on some equipment or some infrastructure or whatever it is, but we need to get return on it. Ultimately profit is also a very important thing. Okay, triple bottom line is okay, but profit is very important for growth and sustainability, for which process and people are important. That's also triple P actually. So that is a corporate mindset actually. So you put in people, you put in process, and then automatically profit, you earn profit actually. Okay. This is what is lacking in some of the, I'll say only some of the doctor-promoted hospitals actually. So a corporate is, that's what, even an individual doctor can open a corporate hospital. Okay. So that's what, it's not like a big business group starting a corporate hospital. So tier 2 town, definitely we can start. I'll say that Purna heads our Chennai unit. Actually, I'll say that our tier 2 towns are making higher profits than our tier 1 towns, tier 1 cities actually. So tier 2 town is actually a good business model.
Thank you very much, sir. I got that, sir. So I hope we will have good hospitals in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
It's a nice point, sir. You think like a corporate, but act like a real doctor, professional. You should be really kind to the patient, and you got to have all the piece what Dr. Ramesh was really told. All these things are various issues. You have to balance these things. If you're able to cut a balance, definitely you are doing a wonderful job. You don't need to worry about your bank balance. You don't need to worry about anything. You will have very good returns. That's no doubt about it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Manivannan. Nice to see the veterans of Tamil Nadu healthcare industry around, all icons here. I have two questions, one to Dr. Manivannan and maybe one to all the people in the panel. I have seen hospitals like Apollo Hospital, Medanga, coming from the metropolitan cities to the smaller towns. But I think you and Gem Hospital are the two hospitals which went from tier 2 hospitals to the metropolitan cities. What are the challenges you faced and why did you do that? You did not get enough money here, then you went there, or you had a purpose, you had a mission to do that. Point number one. Point number two, when we want to run a corporate hospital, bottom line is very important, okay? So we don't want to run hospitals for charity and all that. We are very clear about it. Profit is not a bad word, we want to do that. In your long years of journey, maybe all of you for that matter, do you think we should concentrate on the top line and make more profits for sustainability, or contain costs and make profitability and make profits, or we should do
is primarily, one is, always we thought that the visibility of the hospital in a tier 2 town was very less. So we've been there in Trichy for 13 years before going to Chennai. We are doing good work, but still our visibility was not that great. But when we went to Chennai, definitely our visibility is extremely good, and our brand picked up very well. That is one of the reasons why we went actually. It's not for the profit alone actually, because one is at that point of time getting doctors in tier 2 town was difficult. Now it's not that difficult. So tier 1 we were able to get good doctors. So that is also one of the reasons. And probably the next question I'll leave it to the other audience and other panelists. Top line or bottom line?
I'd like to take my stab at it.
Among the top line and the bottom line is very important because that is where most of the things are based on, right from the investor to the proprietor or the patient or whatever it is, the bottom line is very important. So you have to see to it that your bottom line improves at any cost. Maybe from top line, as you rightly said, if you can do a lot of things and bring your top line, but among the two, bottom line is very important. Without profitability, there is nothing possible.
And I think part of the question also was, how do we go about increasing the bottom line? By increasing the top line and reducing costs. And I would say reducing cost is going to be the key for multiple reasons. One, if you look at inflation versus the healthcare inflation, general inflation has grown much faster than healthcare inflation, just because the elasticity, paying capacity of patients or insurance payments has not scaled up as much. So it's not an untapped market where you can keep on increasing the charges. Whereas in the long run sustainability, if we can become more efficient, one of the sessions was also about automation, AI, all those are methods of reducing our cost, the middle line. You say top and bottom, but the middle line is actually expenses. So if we can reduce our expenses, that will definitely sustain us. And of course, growth, natural growth, not just by increasing the cost, but increasing the volume, that is going to help. But anyway, a sustainable manner is reducing costs. And in concluding, I just like to quote from Steve Jobs of Apple. Steve Jobs would always famously say, we don't look at share prices. We make products that we would like to buy ourselves. We make products for ourselves. We make the best product and people automatically come. Like that, I think in conclusion, since this is the last session, so I'll take the liberty of concluding pretty much. Sorry, I mean, we're really pressed for time.
You not recognize the 120 kilos of speed.
Okay.
I'll not talk about numbers because you are a genius in numbers. Okay. Only one last question, very philosophical in nature. Okay, for sustainability and growth, happiness and friends are very important. After you started hospitals, how many friends you made and lost? That's my first question to all of you. And after starting hospitals, what is the happiness index of your life? Only two questions. This will I realize whether I have to start a hospital in the future or not. Thank you so much.
I think I asked Mahesh to say this because he was. No, before he says, one thing definitely, if you're a hospital owner, you'll make a lot of friends. And you'll retain your friends also because they all need you.
I always speak truth, I don't lie. After starting the hospital, to say the truth, I think I have lost all my tongues. But still the bond is there. Still the bond is there. People are angry at you for various reasons. You can't help it. You have to run the hospital. That cannot be compromised. If you try to compromise with every one of your friends because they are with you, it is a hospital is not going to succeed. It is going to fail. Happiness index differs from person to person. I would put it like this. Every day when I leave hospital, initial periods I used to leave at
Thank you, Doctor. I think that's a great conclusion. I would like to conclude, as you're saying, Apple makes products that they would like to buy themselves. And personal anecdote, I had a late marriage, and one of my friends, a veteran married friend, gave me one advice: happy wife, happy life. Like that, I think happy patient, happy hospital. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And thanks to the organizing committee. It's been a great day and great learning.
Requesting Mr. Arun to please felicitate Dr. Manivannan Selvaraj, founder and managing director, Kaveri Group of Hospitals. There goes a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Requesting Mr. Arun to please felicitate Dr. B.J. Senthil, managing director, GP and Riverside Hospital.
Right, sir. Wait, partner. Wait, sir.
Felicitation goes to Dr. M.J. Arun Kumar, chairman and managing director, Hannah Joseph Hospital Limited.
Wait, sir.
Next felicitation goes to Dr. K. Madeswaran, chairman, consultant neuro and spine surgeon, Royal Care Super Speciality Hospital Limited. And finally, Dr. S. Ramesh Babu, CEO, Sri Kamashi Medical Center. The felicitation now goes to our chair and co-chair, Dr. Suresh Viswanathan, managing director, SKS Hospital. And finally, Dr. K.P. Pichumani, managing director, Sri Ranga Hospital. Thank you, Mr. Radal. Can you please step forward for a group picture? Ladies and gentlemen, we request all of you all to please stay back for the valedictory function followed by the award ceremony.